You know, when you picture Italian history, there's a good chance one face pops into your head. A guy with a big beard, a red shirt, and this incredibly intense look. That's Giuseppe Garibaldi. His statues are everywhere in Italy. He is, for all intents and purposes, one of history's A-list heroes. But here's the thing. Today, that heroic legacy is facing a brutal, coordinated attack.
Okay, let's just start right here. This is a direct quote from Umberto Bossi, the leader of a major Italian political party. He didn't just have a historical disagreement. He called the founding father of modern Italy an idiot. And believe me, this isn't just some random insult. This is a declaration of war on a national icon.
And you might think, okay, that's just one guy, but it's not. Bossi's comment is just the tip of the iceberg. There's a whole wave of books and articles, pushed by political groups from northern separatists to southern royalists who want the old monarchy back. They are all working very deliberately to tear down the story of Italy's founding fathers. They're trying to unmake the myth.
So that brings us to the big question, right? How on earth did we get here? How did the man celebrated for literally creating Italy become a political weapon used to try and tear it apart? Well, to understand the attacks, we first have to understand the man and the legend.
All right, so to really get the legend of Garibaldi, you have to realize his reputation was forged on a global stage. Long before he unified his homeland, he was already an international icon for freedom fighters.
I mean, just look at this guy's resume. It's wild. In the 1830s, he's down in Brazil fighting for a new republic. Flash forward 35 years, and he's in France, leading an army to defend their republic. This is exactly why they called him the hero of two worlds. He wasn't just an Italian patriot. He was, you could say, a professional revolutionary.
But of course, his biggest hit, the one everyone knows, is the unification of Italy. This is where the legend becomes truly immortal. In 1860, he sails to Sicily with just 1,000 volunteers, his famous red shirts, to take on an entire kingdom.
And what starts as 1,000 guys turns into an absolute flood of support. By the time he hit the mainland, his tiny force had swelled to about 20,000 men. And this wasn't some professional, drilled army. No, this was a passionate mix of volunteers from the north and southern locals who were just flocking to his cause.
It all came to a head in this massive military showdown. At the Battle of the Volturno, Garibaldi's scrappy army faced a huge counterattack from the kingdom's professional soldiers, and he won. It was an incredible victory that locked down Naples, sealed the deal for southern Italy, and basically paved the road for a single, united country. Just a stunning, stunning achievement.
But you gotta understand, there were two very different forces making this happen. You had Garibaldi, the charismatic hero, the man of the people leading this incredible popular uprising. And then, working in the shadows, you had Prime Minister Cavour, a brilliant political operator, pulling strings and making deals. They didn't really trust each other, not at all, but Italy wouldn't exist without both of them.
Okay, but here's where the story starts to get messy. Garibaldi's life is just full of contradictions, and it's these very complications that his modern critics now use as ammunition against him.
Just check out this quote. For years, Garibaldi was a sworn enemy of France's emperor, Napoleon III. But the second the emperor is defeated and a French republic is declared, boom, Garibaldi offers to fight for them. Why? Because his true loyalty wasn't to a country or a flag. It was to the idea of a republic. He was an internationalist deep down.
And the proof is in the army he led in France. It was a real international crew. Greeks, Poles, Spaniards, you name it. He was fighting for an ideal. Now, to his fans, this makes him a visionary, a man ahead of his time. But to his critics today, it makes him look like a mercenary, a soldier of fortune, whose loyalty was up for grabs.
And then there's the really tricky part of his Italian campaign. To take the city of Naples, his people made deals with guys like Liborio Romano, the chief of police, who had, shall we say, very close ties to the local mafia, the Camorra. So this heroic liberation, yeah, it was also a messy, practical operation built on some seriously questionable alliances. And all of this, all these complications and contradictions, brings us right back to where we started. The things that make Garibaldi such a fascinating historical figure are the exact same things that make him a perfect target for today's political fights.
Let's break down who's attacking him and why. The Northern League calls him a charlatan, to argue that the whole Italian state is basically a scam. You've got neo-Bourbon groups in the South who miss the old monarchy, painting him as a predator who destroyed their prosperous kingdom.
Then you have very traditional ultra-Catholics, who look at his anti-church views and see a Masonic plot against Italy's true Catholic identity. Each group just picks the piece of his story that suits their argument.
And in our time, the internet just pours gasoline on this fire. There's a concept called group polarization. Basically, online echo chambers amplify these anti-Garibaldi stories over and over again. Inside these bubbles, calling a national hero an idiot doesn't sound extreme at all. It becomes the accepted truth, making their views even more rigid.
So when you get right down to it, Garibaldi's own complexity is what makes him such a powerful symbol today. He was a patriot who fought for other countries, a unifier who made deals with criminals, a revolutionary who handed all his power to a king. This complicated reality means there's ammunition for anyone who wants to build him up or tear him down.
And that leaves us with one last thought. This whole fight over Garibaldi's legacy, it isn't really about the past, is it? It's about today. And it makes you ask, are national heroes supposed to be perfect, flawless statues? Or are they just created because they're useful? And what happens when a hero stops being useful?